Okay, so the final section that you need in your research proposal, and again a really critical one, is a discussion of what methods you're going to use to undertake the research that you've proposed. So what sort of tools are you going to use to collect the data, and to explain why you think you're going to use those. So sticking with the project that I've outlined here, looking at physical activity and children and the influence of the home, I think the two research methods I'd use here would be an environmental audit of a local community that contained a high housing population. So actually conduct an audit where I'd do visual observations and use a already structured audit to go around that community and look at how conducive it was to encouraging children to be physically active. So I'd look at things like the parks and recreation spaces, I'd look at things like the busyness of the roads, the accessibility of parks and things like the pavements, the walkways, how good are they for actually allowing children to get out of their homes. And within this as well, I'd probably try and do some sort of assessment of the actual plans of the house. So how big a garden or backyard have they got, how much space the children actually have to play within the sort of near surrounds of their local home. So that would be method number one, an audit, an environmental audit. My second method would be a survey of parents, and that would particularly focus on looking at their views of children's physical activity, any sort of rules, restrictions, impositions they put on their children being active, how highly they prioritise physical activity in their children's lives. So that would be my two methods there. And again, if I was doing this actually to submit, I'd justify why I'm doing this. I'd draw on previous studies that have used similar methods and say that they've been done in the past, so therefore it's likely to be an acceptable method for researching the subject that I'm interested in. So again, for you, it's really down to you how you want to communicate this section to us. You could, if you wanted to say do interviews, you could have a short example of an interview and actually interview another group member to talk us through the sorts of questions that you'd want to ask within that. You could just do, again, as I've done, a sort of short video indicating the types of methods and why you want to use those particular methods. So completely down to you, but again, it's just a case of getting across what the methods are and why you think those particular methods are going to get you the sort of data that you want to get. And if we go back to my original research questions, obviously I talked about how I was looking at the socio-cultural layer and the built environment. So you can see that my two methods complement that. They should ensure that I can answer my research questions, because I'm collecting data that allows me to analyse the built environment through the audit, but I'm also collecting data through the surveys that will allow me to look at the socio-cultural layer and the influence that parents have on their children. So between those two methods, I should be able to answer both of my sort of research focuses and research questions. And it's really important for you to think also about, with what you're proposing, is that going to do? Is that going to give you enough information to be able to make claims and judgments about the research problem?